afternoon. Good to see everybody here at the at our first Game Fishing Parks meeting of 2014. So I appreciate everybody making an effort to be here. We, as our usual custom, we like to do this. We had asked Representative Donahue if you would open our meeting with a word of prayer.
Thank you.
We have just a brief minute of business before we get into the committee business. We have a new committee aide, Brian Groom. We are glad to have Brian, and he's certainly worked with him some already, and he's very capable. And we look forward to a good relationship with Brian over this session, and the best to him. Good to have you with us. And we have a new intern in our office. We've been working with, and we've just about gotten him broken in, haven't we, Tom? He's still a job. He's a work in progress, but we're glad to have Taylor Orgeron. That came pretty close. Orgeron. Thank you, Taylor. And Taylor is a student at Georgia College and State University, and we're pleased to have him. He's also a very capable young man with a very bright future, and he's really fit in well with our group and a hard worker, and we appreciate him. Very capable also. Representative Al Williams, yes, sir.
Before we move into committee business, I just wanted to mention, sir, even though I have two verified and capable chairmen that are here, you're the only chairman that does such a wonderful job of pictures on the inside of the phone. So you're the big
Well,
you don't want anything out of transportation.
Well, Representative Williams, I'm going to tell you that we had the search was long and hard to get a good picture of several of those folks, but we persevered, and after many hours of work, they look really good. Appreciate you pointing, and they're in color also, no doubt. So. Certainly a very good likeness of Chairman Knight. With no further ado, we had a subcommittee that met on these two bills, and that's chaired by Representative Jason Shaw, the Hunting Regulations Subcommittee. Representative Shaw, how did things work out on when you consider these two bills?
Mr. Chairman, the subcommittee met yesterday on both of these bills, and heard testimony from the authors as well as the Department of Natural Resources, and everything was very favorable. There was no objection, and we passed out both House Bill 740 and House Bill 786 out of subcommittee.
Thanks, Representative Shaw. Good job, and we appreciate y'all handling that. The first bill we'll take up today is House Bill 740 by Representative Tanner, and that is LC 286845 is the version we'll be considering. Representative Tanner, appreciate if you would inform this entire committee and those that are listening in from around the world on what the content of your bill is. The floor is yours.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. This bill is something that I worked on over the past 6 months or so with the Department of Natural Resources. I live in an area, we have the Ranger Camp, the Army Ranger Camp there in Dahlonega, and also North Georgia College and State University. So we have a very strong military presence in my district. And several of my constituents brought forth this issue to me for consideration. They have family members who have been stationed around the country or around the world in the military on active duty. And as part of that, they may have purchased a home in another state because they know they're going to be assigned to that base maybe for a period of 5 years or so. So their residence is in that other state, but they want to come back here while they're on leave and hunt with their father, father-in-law, family members. But under current law, they have to pay an out-of-state hunting license fee, which is, double the normal cost. So we work with the department, and this bill basically just would allow anyone who's serving active duty in the United States military to pay the in-state fee, no matter where they're living at, and be able to buy a hunting or fishing license. It does not, in lines 16 through 23, states that this would not apply to honorary or lifetime licenses. It's just the yearly hunting and fishing licenses that active duty military personnel would be able to buy at the in-state rate. And again, the department has been consulted and worked with me on this, and they're in support of this bill.
Thank you, Representative. Sounds like a pretty good idea. How about it? Representative Williams has a question for you.
Yes, sir. It's a good bill. I appreciate.
Can you, excuse me, Representative, could you mind passing that mic down? He certainly enjoys having his voice amplified. And
Of course, let's take it up a notch here. Turn that one this way. I was saying, it's a good bill, and we appreciate it. This is the first time I can remember you bringing a bill before the committee, so I hadn't had a chance to, especially a bill of this nature. So further, I'm going to support this. I think it's very good. I just want to let you know, because you didn't know, that I have the highest percentage of military people of any district in Georgia, in Liberty County.
Yes, sir.
This kind of legislation in the future, I'd sure like to get a chance to sign on to it, if you didn't mind.
Yes, sir. Be glad to.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So
is that the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, or the Marine Corps down there?
we don't consider anybody outside of the Army.
Thank you so much.
Well, you can make the motion.
Except for, is that the Navy, Mr. Chairman? Air Force.
It's the means department of the Navy.
Oh,
Representative Williams, we will consider you when it comes time for a motion on this bill, if the other committee members don't mind. Other questions for the author, or any clarification? Before we take up the bill, I think Representative Tanner, we had a comment that would from Dan Forrester, who's the Director of Wildlife Resources.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The department does support this bill, and we very much appreciate Representative Tanner working with us. Anytime we offer licenses for free or reduced price, our preference certainly is the reduced fee, which we've got here before us, because it ties back to the federal aid that we also get whenever we sell a license. So we don't think that this is going to be a significant impact. It may actually help our bottom line in that currently, if you reside in Georgia in one of the military bases in the state, or Georgia your home of record, you're already entitled to that free license. This would just encourage folks stationed outside of Georgia that are residing elsewhere. So if they come, because of social nature, we think they may even bring some of their buddies with them, and hopefully they'll find it their liking. So we certainly support this bill.
Thank you, Dan. Any questions for Dan about the effect of this bill? Well, anyone else need to comment? Thank you, Dan. We appreciate you being here and certainly working with the representative on the bill. This time, I think it's appropriate time for a motion on House Bill 740. We had a we did have a due pass from, I think, a motion of due pass, and a second from Representative Allison, and very appropriately done. And this time we'll take a vote. All those in favor of House Bill 740 will let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. Thank you so much. Congratulations. A really good bill. And we look forward to hearing good things about the folks who benefit from this. I think it'll be good for a lot of folks, and certainly will be good for Georgia.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. I know you have another appointment, so we'll see you later. Now, Chairman Knight, I think it'd be probably appropriate you need to move up so we can get you on the speaker, because I think you're going to have a couple of things to discuss on this bill. If you could bring us up to speed on House Bill 786, and let's see if I can find the correct LC number on that.
Mr. Chairman,
Do you have his LC game0491. I think the version that we're certainly going to work with. Chairman Knight, we'll turn it over to you at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I assure you this has nothing to do with corn or baiting. Yeah. To my rules, Chairman. Thank you. Thank you.
After you've been right here for a while, so don't be intimidated. You carry right ahead. Excuse me, Chairman Knight.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this bill simply does two main things, and one is it removes the residency requirement for an infant lifetime sportsman's license. If you look on line 43 of the bill, that's what we're basically doing. We had where, we had 0 through, I guess, 15, and you were the grandchild of a resident, then you could come in and get that youth license. But what we're doing here, we're going to break out, and we're going to do a child from 0 to 2. We're removing the residency requirement, and someone from 0 to 2 can come in and get a Georgia lifetime sportsman's license. That's the first main thing that the bill does. The second thing, and I think this helps all of the folks in Georgia and even outside, is we're going to simplify the residency requirements by allowing a current driver's license to suffice. So in the past, if you look on lines 48, you had to have the voter registration card and the income tax return and registration of the automobile, warranty deed, property, some of these things, which are very cumbersome. But as you know, under the new process, if anyone has gotten a driver's license recently, we've pretty much tightened that up, and we're going to rely on that as a residence requirement. So it should simplify the process as people go forward and try to get this lifetime license instead of trying to get a lot of the old paperwork. We're relying on the new driver's license because of the increased scrutiny that has been put into getting a Georgia driver's license. Those are the main two things that the bill does. There's some cleanup language that I'll be happy to go through if any member of the committee sees it, but I think that was cleanup language from Leg Council, and that's pretty much it, guys.
Sounds like this might be a John David bill.
It could be a John David.
But I guess since he's in Georgia and his daddy is here too,
He's going to get one.
I'm sure he will. And John David just had a birthday, I think.
1-year-old Saturday.
All right, congratulations. Doing great. John David Knight, quite a guy. Questions for the chairman and I think there's some folks who have some comments, but I think a question I think would be in order now on House Bill 786. Mr. Chairman.
I see y'all on the wall. It is more about licenses, but I go here to 961. Available only to those under 2 years of age. What is a 2-year-old hunt?
Well, I'm not sure.
Is this just for your son?
No. This is for all of us.
He's prolific.
It could be for your grandson or anyone else, or just like my father trying to get. I know I've got 2 nephews. To be able to buy that young person a lifetime license when they're born, trying to get these folks to continue with the tradition. And seriously, this is a serious matter of hey, starting them off, making sure that we keep our youth involved in that. So. Well, no, I actually, under the current law, I can already get him one. But so.
Any other questions?
I think I'm good.
That's my favorite committee member right there, Representative Sharon Beasley too.
No, actually, there's an alternative there, and if you look online, let's do it. says satisfactory evidence. This is on line 46, 47. Satisfactory evidence of residency shall consist of a current driver's license or an official Georgia identification card issued by the Department of Driver Services. So,
Point.
Thank
you.
Again, the purpose was they're very strict, and so now I think we can rely on their license as far as proving that residence.
Other questions? I want to call on Dan Forrester again just to talk about the concept and the time frame of how this works out from a financial perspective. And Chairman Knight's already made the linkage as to the how it promotes the appreciation of the great outdoors. So,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill that the department brought forward, and at first glimpse, we tend to charge higher fees for non-residents than we do residents. And this is a case where we're actually recommending allowing a 2-year-old or less, somebody less than 2, to purchase a lifetime privilege of hunting and fishing in Georgia for the same cost as a resident, that being $200. The reason this makes good fiscal sense for us is because that money goes into an interest-bearing account, so we get to use the interest from that account while maintaining that principal. But for each paid license in this state, we get to derive funds from the federal excise tax on hunting equipment as well as fishing equipment. In FY 2013 numbers, it was about $40 per person, per paid license that we got back to put back into wildlife and fisheries conservation. So once this license is purchased, we will get that federal aid apportionment for that paid license holder until the end of their life according to current life tables, which is about 78 years old for a male. So we will continue to generate money for the next 78 years if they buy it before they're 2. And so it is a tremendous conservation push. And we know that only about 4% of Georgians hunt, and about 8%, maybe a few more than that, fish. So the chances that you can predict whether this young person is going to be a hunter or an angler is fairly small. It's a great gift for a conservation-minded grandfather or father or friend. But if you run the numbers out, the chances of somebody exercising the privileges to gain more than that, sure. If you're going to be a hunter and angler, like I'm sure John David Knight's going to be, he's going to get the value. But there will be a lot of people that end up not hunting, not fishing. So North Carolina did this, and they've had good luck with it. They feel like the numbers are well in their favor, and so we think it is very fiscally sound bill for this state.
thank you, Dan. Anyone need a further explanation from Representative?
Before they get 62, so they can just license them. I'll be 62.
They can already buy. You can buy one now.
Yeah, that is correct. We do offer for, I think it's $95. On line 66, there's a tight senior discount available to those individuals 60 years of age or older. So you get a free license after you're 65, according to current law.
Yeah.
So if you buy...
Well, we're going to have to check your ID because there's no way you're 60 years old.
We could chip in and buy a secretary.
Yeah, we could that now. Any further questions for Dan Forrester?
Mr. Chairman, I want to make a note and make sure, we've done this in several years, and Dan said federal aid. And when we're talking about this, you heard us say that Pittman Robinson, Dingell Johnson, those are the proper terms. And when I say federal aid, I want to make sure that this committee understands this is not tax dollars per se, like income tax dollars we're setting up in a sense. When you and I go out and we purchase a gun or hunting equipment, or we go out and purchase fishing rods and fishing equipment, there's an excise tax that I think is levied at the manufacturer level, so when they distribute it to, I guess, at the retail level or out, there's actually an excise tax that is held in the, I think it's the Wildlife Federal Restoration Fund. And those are what those dollars are that are sent back to the states. They're our dollars. As hunters and as fishermen, those are our dollars that we're paying when we buy our equipment. So I want to make sure we understand that. This is not an income tax, and when we say federal aid, this is what we're paying in when we buy the equipment. And that's what we're referring to as part of that allocation back to the states is based on the number of licenses. Part of that computation of what is distributed, how it's distributed, is based on its license. So that's why it makes sense. And again, that's our dollars when we go out and buy the equipment that we go out and use in our recreation time.
Absolutely, we appreciate your due diligence on this and your knowledge that you have personally, that you brought to bear the great benefit to our state and to the public. So thank you for this bill. Is there any other comment? Chairman Roberts?
I got a amendment, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to discuss, if it's okay with you.
As for this bill?
Yes.
Well,
You want to hear it,
let's hear the amendment first.
Okay,
and,
we would, after section 2, we would add a new section 3.
Wait a minute now, which line is that?
It's on the bill on the back, like after 109, we would add a new section 3, rename section 3 to section 4 and section 4 to 5. The amendment would basically say there shall be no regions in this state. All laws concerning the hunting over supplemental feeding or the dates of the season shall be the same as currently under the Southern Zone laws as furthermore.
Mr. Chairman, I second that.
I think the second is a little premature, Chairman McCall.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a statement?
You could, Chairman McCall. I think it's your right as a chairman but I would love for you to do it.
In a previous life, I remember I'm most able being our commissioner, being second only to Jay Roberts in favor of abatement. And I also think that he was concerned about the increased sale in corn for his constituents. And I also think he was concerned about, is it the 14th Amendment that requires equal protection under the law for his constituents on the whole state? Would this not help increase the 4% that Mr. Forrester was talking about becoming hunters if we pass this simple little housekeeping amendment?
That's probably a question that each and one of us will have to consider for ourselves.
My concern is,
yes, sir, Mr. Rose Chairman.
just go ahead and put handcuffs, cut their wings off, and throw them out there.
Well,
Apparently not. They can take them out of the box.
Well,
They run across the ground.
I believe there are several strong opinions on this subject, and since the amendment was not on my desk 1 hour prior to the meeting, I'll have to rule the amendment non-germane and ask if there is a motion to save House Bill 7. It'll do passed in a second. All those in favor of a really fine bill, a very serious bill that will be a great benefit, and thank you, Chairman Knight, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. Anything else come before this fine committee on this day? We certainly need to be in adjournment. Thank y'all for being here.